So coming into the season, Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies were one of the most exciting teams in the NBA. Personally for me, I was expecting for them to really just improve on last season and firmly be in one of the playoff spots. Probably even outside of the play-in. But nor did I or anybody else expect this. Right now, Memphis is a top 4 seed and Ja's quickly rising in the MVP ladder. They've made a crazy jump as it's just a well put together team, and in today's video, I'll be discussing just how good Memphis is and how far they can potentially go. Before that, you already know the drill, just hit that like button, as if you did, it helps out my channel a lot and it helps YouTube's algorithm. So if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe, as I make content like this pretty consistently, so help the boy out and subscribe. And also don't forget to comment your text down below, as I try to respond to all of them. But with that being said, let's get straight into the video. So Ja's currently averaging 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists, shooting 49% from the field, 35% from 3, and 77% from the line. Now that stat line that I just read out is just simply insane. He's really taken that next step into becoming a perennial All-NBA caliber player, and the ceiling for him is sky high. I didn't think that Ja would be putting up these stats this quickly, as I really saw these numbers as something that he would post probably at his peak, but he's doing all this in his 3rd season. Coming out of Murray State, I thought that his scoring peak would be somewhere around prime John Wall numbers of about 22 points per game, but he's already blown that out of the water. And his improvements have just been steady, as he's really getting better with his outside game, as defenders have to start respecting his shot, which just opens up his game even more. And add on that he's already one of the best passers and playmakers in the league, and you have yourself one heck of a player at just 22 years old. And right now, the point guard hierarchy is really up for debate, as Stephen Curry right now is in the middle of his worst slump of his career. And FYI, if you want to know more about that, then just go ahead and check out my video about that in my channel. And yeah, I know it's a shameless plug, but with him struggling mightily right now, I think he has a case to maybe be the best point guard in the game. I say maybe because I think it's been pretty clearly Trae Young, but that's for another video. But that just goes to show you just how good he's been this season. You can legitimately argue that he's been a top 10 player this season, and most likely for the foreseeable future. But it would be a total disservice to the Grizzlies team if I said that Ja was the only reason that this team has broken out. Now, don't get me wrong, Ja's been amazing, but I don't think people understand just how good his supporting cast has been this season. There's not a lot of flashy names or players that casual fans would know of, but they have just so many solid to really good role players that know their role and do it so good. And most of all, this team has so much heart and toughness that it kinda reminds me of those bad boy Pistons who have so much heart, and they're gonna let you know about it and talk trash, but just a little bit. To start, Ja's running mate Jaren Jackson Jr. has been exceptional on the defensive end. He's currently averaging 2.2 blocks per game and 1 steal per game. His offense on the other hand has been flat out bad this year, as he's averaging 16 points per game, but he's shooting 41% from the field and a terrible 31% from 3. So obviously his offense has been terrible, but thankfully his teammates have been able to carry that weight for him. I don't think his offense is really this bad, and I think he will come around, but he's just gonna have to get back to his sophomore season form. But really, his defense has done so much for the squad, as he's finally tapping into that switching and protecting the paint kind of defense, and he's just tapping into that unlimited potential that he has on that end. He's been a lot better with his fouling issues also, and in turn has been able to stay in the game longer, and has just been way more aggressive defensively, and he doesn't have to constantly worry about fouling out. There are also other players like Dylan Brooks, who's an important building block on this young team, as he fits really well with Ja. He can defend at a high level, but he can also take some pressure off of Ja, as he can put the ball on the floor and can create for himself and others, while also being a pretty respectable shooter. Then there are other players like Zaire Williams, who has been an exciting rookie to say the least, Tyus Jones, who is looking like maybe the best backup point guard in the league, and guys like Steven Adams, Conchar, Slow-Mo aka Kyle Anderson, D'Anthony Melton, Brandon Clark, and the list just keeps on going and going. Like I said, this team is really deep. And oh, before I forget, there is one more player who doesn't get enough recognition, and that's Desmond Bane. He has been going crazy this season. Like, he's been low-key disguising himself as Klay Thompson or something, because he has been maybe the best 3-and-D player in the entire league. He's been crucial for them and their success, as he's averaging about 13 points per game on 43% from 3. All in all, this season is just amazing for this team, and this team is only going to go as far as Ja can take them, but at the same time, they're still one of the deepest teams in the league. They have playmaking, size, shooting, defense, and really they can match up with any team in the league. Now, as for the contending status, I really don't view this team as a legitimate threat to come out the West. That's not to say that this team isn't legit, but at the same time, this team is really young, and I just don't know if their best lineups will be able to hang with others like Golden State or Phoenix, especially when your regular 10-man rotation is cut down to a 7 or best 8-man rotation. I mean, all the contending teams have been healthy, such as the Lakers with AD, the Nuggets with MPJ and Murray, and the Clippers without their duo of Kawhi and PG-13. So we can't really argue or gauge this team next to the best of the best until they're fully healthy. Now, it's fully possible that Memphis could go on an Atlanta Hawks type of run where they upset a lot of teams and make it to the conference finals. And I mean, I would probably expect them to come out the first round just because they have Ja Morant on their team, but after that, I just don't. I don't think they can really pull it off. I mean, to me, second round is their best case scenario. The Western Conference, it's tough. It's tough. They could make it to the Western Conference, but as of right now, to me, second round is where I would probably bet them as. But I mean, either way, this season has been crazy for them, and it just goes to show you, like, crazy things have happened before. So to conclude this video, Ja Morant and the Grizzlies are special. From the time Ja got drafted to now, and them being a top 4 seed in a tough Western Conference all in a 3-year span really speaks volumes to how well run this team is and the sport that Ja does have. The ceiling for this team is scary, and even if they don't win the championship, which they won't, at least this season, they have a decade plus of amazing jaw-dropping basketball to look forward to. Pun intended. But that's going to do it for today's video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, like I said, like the video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on your post notifications to never miss any of my uploads. And comment your text down below as I respond to all of them. But with that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.